my dear students. Today we are going to learn human circulatory system but with a different approach. So we will be learning all the NCERT line by line but from diagrams. So we will be understanding first the basic anatomy of the heart, then valves, and then the muscle conduction system. After that, we will be discussing about the important PYQ areas from which questions has been asked in the previous years. After that, I will be also giving a solved PYQ from previous year which you can practice. Let's dive into the topic now. The human circulatory system or the blood vascular system, it has three main components: the muscular chambered heart, the network of close branching blood vessels, and the circulatory fluid, that is the blood. When I say closed blood vessels, what does it mean? It means that the circulating fluid, that is the blood, is present only in the vessels. It does not bathe the organs directly. Clear? The heart is a mesodermal organ. It means that it is derived from the mesoderm. If you talk about the location, heart is present in the thoracic cavity between the two lungs, slightly tilted towards the left and has size about a clenched fist. Now pay attention to the blue area surrounding the heart. It is called as pericardium, which is a double-walled membranous bag. It encloses a fluid called as the pericardial fluid. Now, what is the function of this pericardium and pericardial fluid? This pericardium, which surrounds the heart, protects it from any type of friction, and the pericardial fluid helps in lubricating the heart so that during the time of beating, there is no friction which is produced. Okay, clear about this? This is the structure of human heart. A human heart has 4 different chambers. Now, the 2 upper chambers that are relatively smaller in size to that of the bottom chambers are known as atria, and the bottom 2 chambers which are larger in size, they are known as ventricles. Okay, so first and second are atria and third and fourth are ventricles. Between the 2 atria, there is a thin muscular wall that separates them, and we call it interatrial septum. Is that clear? And between the 2 ventricles, there is a thick walled layer that separates them. We call it interventricular septum. Okay, so between 1 and 2, interatrial septum. Between 3 and 4, we have interventricular septum. Right? Next, the atrium and the ventricle of the same side. This is your right side, this is your left side. So atrium and the ventricle of the same side are separated by a thick fibrous tissue called as this is called as the atrioventricular septum. Okay, so this atrioventricular septum is provided with an opening. There is an opening. Why this opening is present? So that the blood can flow from the atria towards the ventricle. And these openings, they are guarded by the valves. Okay, we will learn the names of the valves in the next slide. For now, remember, human heart, 4 chambers, 2 atria, 2 ventricles. Atria smaller in size than the ventricles. Between the atria, interatrial septum. Between the ventricles, interventricular septum. Between the atria and the ventricles of the same side, we have atrioventricular septum. And atrioventricular septum has opening guarded by the valves. Basic anatomy clear? Let us now come to the valves of the heart. But before that, you must know that atria are responsible for receiving the blood and ventricles are responsible for pumping the blood. And the right side always receives as well as pumps the deoxygenated blood, and the left side always receives and pumps the oxygenated blood. Next, Why are valves essential? To prevent any backward flow and ensuring that the blood flows in only one direction. Okay. Now between the right atria and the right ventricle, we have right atrioventricular septum, and the opening is guarded by the tricuspid valve, which is made up of three muscular flaps or cusps. Similarly, between the left atria and the left ventricle, we have bicuspid or the mitral valve, which is made up of two cusps. Okay. Now next come to the ventricles. Now right ventricles pumps the blood to the pulmonary artery, and the left ventricle, it pumps the blood to the aorta, and both of these openings are guarded by semilunar valves. Two types of semilunar valves are there. The pulmonary semilunar valve guards the opening of the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery, and aortic semilunar valve, it guards the opening of the left ventricle into the aorta. Clear? So these are the four main types of valves which are very important from NEET perspective. Let us now discuss the cardiac muscles in detail. We know that the heart is a muscular organ and is made up of cardiac muscles. Okay. Now, if you compare the thickness for the ventricles and the atria, ventricular wall thickness is more than that of the atria. Why? Because atria just receives the blood, while ventricles have to pump the blood to the different organs and withstand more pressure. Is that clear? Okay. Also, in the heart, there are special cardiac muscles that are distributed in the heart and can generate different action potentials without any external stimuli, or they are auto-excitable in nature. These special cardiac muscles are known as nodal tissue. Okay, these nodal tissues are responsible for the myogenic nature of the heart or auto-excitable nature of the heart. Now, these different types of nodes present do not generate the same number of action potentials, and the numbers can vary per minute. Okay. Now, let's talk about the main type of the nodal tissue, that is the sinoatrial or the SA node, commonly known as the pacemaker of the heart. It is located in the right upper corner of the right atrium, and what is its function? To initiate rhythmic contraction. Okay, it generates 70 to 75 action potentials per minute and responsible for the human heart rate, that is averaged about 72 beats per minute. Is that clear? Second type of the nodal tissue is the atrioventricular node or the AV node. It is located in the lower left corner of the right atrium and close to the atrioventricular septum. And what is its function? Whatever impulses come from the SA node, AV node tries to slow them a little. Why? So that the ventricles have a little more time to fill up nicely and are not withstanding very high pressure. Is that clear? This AV node acts as a backup pacemaker whenever the SA node is not working. Now, from the AV node, a bundle of nodal fibers arises and it passes through the atrioventricular septa, and that is known as AV bundle or the bundle of His. Okay. Now, this AV bundle or the bundle of His further divides into the right branch and the left branch at the interventricular septum, right? The space between the two ventricles, we call it interventricular septum. So at interventricular septum, the AV bundle divides into the right branch and left branch, and the branches further divide into minute fibers that are present throughout the musculature of the ventricles. These are known as the Purkinje fibers. What is the role of Purkinje fiber? They help in synchronized contraction of the ventricles. Meaning, right ventricle and the left ventricle, they contract simultaneously in a synchronized way. That is made possible because of the Purkinje fibers. Clear? This is a very important area. I hope you are clear about it. Let us now discuss the important areas in which you have to pay attention. Look, the PYQs from the components of the blood vascular system is based on what is closed circulatory system. Okay, blood present only in vessels and does not bathe the organs properly. That is closed circulatory system, right? And what is the circulating fluid? That is blood was asked in NEET 2018. Then germ layer origin of the heart or heart is derived from the mesoderm asked in NEET 2013. Function of the pericardial fluid asked in NEET 2018, that is protection of the heart, shock absorption, lubrication, reduction of the friction during beating of the heart. All these are functions of the pericardial fluid, right? Then location of the heart in thoracic cavity between the lungs, tilted slight towards the left. Then next, here the questions have come directly from what is the septa separating the atria. Interatrial septum, septum separating ventricles, interventricular septum, right? There is a thickness difference in the heart walls. I already told ventricular thickness is more than the atrial thickness. Why? Because ventricles pump blood. In that, the left ventricles have to be thickest. Why? Because left ventricles pump blood to the aorta, which supplies the blood to all the important organs. Right ventricle only pumps it to the lungs. That's why ventricles are thicker than atria. Specifically, the left ventricle wall is the thickest. Clear about it? And what is the nature of cardiac muscle has come in NEET 2019. You already know they are auto-excitable in nature or myogenic in nature. Clear? Then see, look, master all the valve names. It is a very high yield area. Where are the valves located and what is the function of it? It is very important. So between the atria and ventricle on the right side you have the tricuspid, in the left you have the bicuspid, and for the pulmonary artery and the ventricles you have the pulmonary semilunar, and between the right ventricle and the aorta you have the aortic semilunar valve. Clear? And what is the function? You have to remember all that. Then what is the sequence of the impulse conduction? SA node, AV node. Then from AV node you have the bundle of the His or the AV bundle. From the AV bundle, then it goes where? It goes to the left and the right branch, and then finally to the Purkinje fiber. That is also very important. Again, myogenic nature of the heart and auto-excitable nature, that's very important. What happens if the SA node fails? Then AV node takes over at a slower rate. That is a concept-based question. Then you might be asked to identify label diagrams or diagram-based question. What is known as the pacemaker of the heart? That is your SA node. Bundle pathway we already discussed now. That is also important. Where are each nodes located? Right? Like SA node, it is located in the right side of the right atrium, right upper side of the right atrium. You have to just remember that. What is the function of the Purkinje fiber? Rhythmic contraction of the ventricles. So these are all the PYQ areas. We discussed all of them. I hope you are clear with it. I hope you are now clear with what are the areas which you need to focus for this chapter. If you found this video to be useful, then hit the like button, share and subscribe to my channel for more NEET based concept. Also, please feel free to comment below any specific questions you are having doubt in. Solve the previous year PYQ which I am sending and let me know how many questions you are able to answer from this. Thank you everyone. Have a very good day.